Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Am I on? Yeah. What? Are they both flipped on? That one. There we go. We're going to begin our service warming ourselves up for a beautiful, wonderful, lively, clean Shabbat on page 162. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomre 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 Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomre 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 Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei Mekadeshei Shavi Shabbat Kulam Yisbe'u V'yit'angu mituvecha Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'kore oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat v'hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kirashto Shabbat chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat Zecher Lema'aseh v'reshit Shabbat Zecher Lema'aseh v'reshit Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat. Now we're all warmed up and ready to pray. Something I should have said before we started at all is if this is your first time at Ner Shalom or your first time in 3 years since your one other time at Ner Shalom, just a reminder that our prayer books that we read left to right in Hebrew, right to left, the other way, and right across from all of the Hebrew is a transliteration, so if you don't read Hebrew letters, you can follow along-ish, and right below it will be a direct translation-ish. And then on the opposite side of the page, for most pages, are sort of interpretive, poetic readings on the same theme. So if you get lost while we're singing Hebrew and you're kind of wandering around, that's like a nice place to land. It kind of centers you so you can get the gist of what we're saying in a way that maybe will speak more to you directly. And we have up here tonight with me Ben Mergler, who is becoming a bar mitzvah, a son of the commandments this weekend. And so tomorrow will be like the Ben show, but tonight he is also up here helping me to lead the service and step into this role of Jewish adulthood. So some of the tunes and such we have picked tonight are a little bit ones that he and I worked out together. They might be less familiar to you, even our regulars, but bear with us and it will be a beautiful, wonderful, spiritual evening for everyone. And so with that, I would like to call up Ben's family to light the candles and say the blessing on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. And now that we have warmed our hearts up with the joy of Shabbat with Yismachu, and we've lit our Shabbat candles, we're ready to welcome in the Sabbath bride on pages 138 and 139. We will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we reach verse 9, I invite you, if you're able, to rise and face the door and imagine the Sabbath bride, the Sabbath queen coming in. And on verse 9, when we say, Bo'ichala, enter, O bride, picture her coming down and joining us in our sanctuary. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula, bo'ichala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. And now that we have welcomed in the Sabbath bride, we are ready to segue fully into our evening service with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach irtei lich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chayetecho beit Yisrael, bagala, ubizman kariv, ve'imaru amen. Yehesh me Rabbah mevarach,
Le'olam Omeomaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yiromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yit'aleh, V'yit'halal, Shemei Techudashah B'richu, Le'elam min kol bechata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiram be'alma, v'imeru, Amen.
On page 146, we come to the Baruch Hu. Please prepare yourself for the call to worship. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. We continue together on the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, U'kumenu na'asiyach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Ve'avatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Now, for the Shema, we decided that tonight we're going to do a prayer a tune that's probably unfamiliar to maybe all of you, except for us. Oh, and Nate, probably. Anyone who's been to a URJ camp. So the Shema is on page 152 and 153. Tonight, instead of going directly from the Shema into the Ve'ahavta, we're going to go directly from the Shema into the Hashkivenu. So you might want to stick your finger into page 160 as well. And this is a tune known as the bedtime Shema. Ben told me that they sing it like sitting in a circle at with your cabin. or with the camp. Where I went to Jewish camp, we would actually be lying in bed with the lights off, and it was the last thing we sang before, like, then if we kept talking, the RAs would come and yell at us, kind of thing. So normally we do rise for the Shema, but tonight I'm going to suggest that you stay in a comfortable seated position. If you want to spread out and lie down, these chairs are incredibly comfortable. When the heat was broken in the lobby, I would come sometimes and just rest in here and write my sermons lying down across these chairs. So if you want to get in a very relaxed position and just take this moment to reflect on what will bring you comfort and the shelter of the divine in this confusing and chaotic time. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Va'ed Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen.
Standing on the parted shores of history.
Yes.
On page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we will still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nehtar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osei thelech, Nora tehilot osei thelech. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, Okei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Eli anu ve'ameru, Ze Eli anu ve'ameru. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We come now to the central portion of our evening prayer. On page 164 begins our tefillah, and it continues over the next few pages. I invite you to prepare yourself for this set of blessings. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagita hilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei L'Man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol Atah Rav Eloshia, Mashiv Haruach U'Marit Hagashem, Mechachel Ha'im Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'Ofeh Cholim, U'Matir Aserim, U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'Mido Melach, Melech Memit, U'Mechayem, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot Hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Chadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yehallelujah Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. We continue together on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
On page 175. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha v'lecha b'yirah na'avod. On page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot.
Page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki atahu melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch Atah Adonai Hamevarech et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom. We take a moment now for silent prayer. You might use the words on pages 180 and 181 or the meditations of your own heart. Yehiyu l'ratzon imrefi v'hevyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and redeemer. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill or injured and in need of healing. We have on our list Mary Kennedy, Rosalind Cantu, Sharon Buell, Mike Haug, Lori Perry, Nick Joliot, Bernard Strassner, Fran Warona, Ariel Botsluva, Gail O'Neill, Rhoda Wessler, Marion Finkel, Skip, Kathy, and Jeffrey Brace, Sandra Lenag, Leslie White, Robin Callahan, Ricky Grant, Shoshana Bat Abraham, Minna Dornfeld, John Manners, Michael Kumakawa, Neil Savage, Elizabeth Wilkins McKee, Joey Jones, Sharon Kalb, and Michelle Young. And if anyone else has a name they'd like to share at this time, please do so. Our Misha Berach is on page 371, and we hold in our thoughts all those in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Ve'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha la'avotenu.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema,
the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We also pray for the health and safety of all those in our community who are active military duty, first responders, and peacekeepers, those around the world whose jobs are dangerous so that our lives might not be. We have on that list Janet Ingraham, Patrick Carlton, Oni Hinnanen, Joshua Ehrlichman, Martin Brown, Richard Rubino, Howard Mergler, Kyle Sneck, Andrew Booth, Joseph Cald, Daniel and Bridget Stampowski, many members of the Nemero family, Pete Abelson, Jeremy Sharkey, Benjamin Hurd, Alexander Furman, Daniel Gilman, Curtis Miller, Rob Apgar, Ben Farrell, Caleb Menzies, Francis Petrarca, and Noah Kaplan, and all those in the armed services and on the ships at sea that tune in and watch us from our live stream. May the one who blessed our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless those who are serving in our armed services. May God guard them and keep them from harm. If they find themselves in danger's path, may God bring them back whole of mind and body to all those who love them. May it be your will, Adonai Tzevaot, to lead them to safety and to protect them from each and every enemy and ambush. May God make their journey successful and guard their going out and coming in with mercy and love, and let them be blessed to return home with life and peace, now and forever. And let us say, Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Ki Tisa, which contains one of the most famous stories in the Torah, the building of the golden calf. It also opens with some of the instructions regarding the building of the Mishkan and ends with a classic Moses-God argument. We will hear more about many of these things from Ben tomorrow morning, but this evening I wanted to narrow in on a few verses from the beginning of this parsha. The opening instruction regarding the building of the Mishkan is to include out front a basin for washing. The following 3 verses then reiterate in 3 different ways that the priests are to wash their hands and feet in this basin. This basin is for washing, and all people for all time evermore shall wash before going into holy places. Most specifically, the Mishkan or the temple, but when those things no longer exist, also synagogues and churches, etc. Rambam's equally cool but much less famous contemporary, names that this requirement was to honor God, just as visitors to a palace would wash before entering a feast. In this time of global health concerns, we could all use this reminder to wash our hands a bit more, to honor God and the blessings of sustenance we receive. It is good to clean up our houses of worship and ourselves before prayer, our homes and foods before a feast, and our hands and face periodically throughout the day. We also know that it is not a possibility to keep our hands clean all the time. Life is messy. Building both the Mishkan and the golden calf inevitably dirtied the hands of all those involved, physically and spiritually. Especially in this time of heightened germophobia, it is worth asking ourselves what is worth dirtying our hands in and what is not. What is holy work and what is not? When thinking about this parsha, the Ani DeFranco song, Looking for the Holes, came to mind. It is an anthem for our value of Tikkun Olam. In it, she says, I don't wear anything I can't wipe my hands on, as she sings about repairing the tears in this world. because repairing and rebuilding gets messy. Just ask all of our members who have been helping with the playground repairs and come home from synagogue covered in sawdust. She also sings, "We can't sit back and let people come to harm. We owe them our lives. Each breath is recycled from someone else's lungs. Our enemies are the very air. Our enemies are the air," which has less to do with dirtying our hands in holy repairs and rebuilding or washing them up as another act of holiness, but it also felt pertinent in this time of a highly contagious respiratory pandemic. As tomorrow, we welcome into a Jewish adulthood, a new child of the mitzvot, I'd like to take just a brief moment to commend Ben on already showing himself to be someone willing to get his hands dirty for the sake of our worship space and community. He aided tirelessly in Aaron's mitzvah project in the fall with cleaning up the indoor space of our synagogue, and decided to extend the efforts with his own mitzvah project of cleaning the outdoor spaces of Ner Shalom, acts that are both cleansing and dirtying. And I am reasonably certain he washes his hands regularly. My hope is that all of you similarly know when to allow yourselves to get messy and when it is time to wash up and step back. May you not be afraid to share spaces with those who uplift you and whom you can uplift as well, together rebuilding and repairing this broken world toward a cleaner and clearer future for all. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. And now we turn toward our concluding prayer, so I'd like to call Ben's family back up to open the Ark for the Aleinu, which is on page 586. And I invite everyone else to prepare for the Ark to be open. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, לגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. And we turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. This week marks a yahrzeit, an anniversary of death, for Samuel Bassen, Carl Weissman, Joseph Lefferson, Doris Stornfeld, Judith Daniels, Mary Lorena Carter, Ida Klein, Renee Hayes, Enid Friedman, and this is the first yahrzeit for Bernice Strassner. And we are still within the year of mourning for Clara Breeding, Lori Gilbert Kay, Roland Lane, Larry Washington, Dean Ashley, Sophie Levy, Donna Thatcher, Deborah Friedlander, Abraham Finkel, Harold Herman, Nancy Hollowitz, Roland Laramie, Mindy Ferenz, Moishe Deutsch, Douglas Miguel Rodriguez, Bob Katz, Roger Haug, Paula Cooper, Ernie Weissman, and Doris Oleski. And if anyone else has a name they'd like to share at this time, please do so. The Mourners' Kaddish is on page 598. Mourners and those who wish to join them may rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי תקדשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. You may be seated. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו
Amen.
Amen. Before I call up our president for the bulk of the announcements, Ben, would you like to say one more thing about your mitzvah project?
On the 21st, I will be having the second part of my bar mitzvah project, which will be finishing to clean up the outside of the temple. And basically, we just have to finish sanding the playground. And it will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And food will be available.
If you have any concerns about the health risks, we are minimizing some of our events going forward, but this is not a particularly social thing, and we'll be outside, so if you do feel brave, I suspect it will go forward as planned. Okay. And Mr. President?
Thank you, Rabbi Liz. Shabbat Shalom. So we've been diligently tracking all of the announcements and all the news releases and what's going on, and we've been working hard to make sure that we don't close before we should, but do close before we shouldn't have. So talking to the rabbi and consulting with the board, Shabbat service tonight happened. Your bar mitzvah tomorrow will happen, but after that we are going to take a pause from live events. So there'll be no religious school on Sunday, there'll be no adult education on Sunday, and we will make use of live streaming where we can. We can do that for services. The rabbi's going to try to figure out how to do it for religious school and for adult ed and any other events. As I say, Ben's bar mitzvah project is outdoors. It's not a social event. Those who participate will probably have more sawdust on them than other droplets of pardon?
Virus droplets?
Yeah, those things. So that's where we're at. Again, my highest priority was, is, and always will be the safety of all the congregants. So we've tried to hit that best spot where we don't keep open to the point where it's dangerous, but we don't close before we need to. We've tried to hit that spot, and hopefully we've succeeded. If we haven't my decision. Mazel tov, Ben, mazel tov to the entire Merkler family, and I look forward to tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And our closing song this evening is Adon Olam on page 625. Adon Olam, Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir
Nivra,
Nivra, Li'ed Nasa,
Li'ed Nasa,
V'chepsachol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yeh V'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa,
Li'ed Nasa,
V'chepsachol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Lahamshilo Lahachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'oz V'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa,
Li'ed Nasa,
V'chepsachol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Eli, V'chai Goli, V'tzor Chevli Be'et Sarah Adon Olam, Ve'hu Nisi, Umanos Li, Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa,
Li'ed Nasa,
V'chepsachol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yado Afkid Ruchi, Be'et Ishan V'a'ira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi Geviati, Adonai li v'lo ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa,
Li'ed Nasa,
V'chepsachol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us for Kiddush and Oneg, and we'll see many of you tomorrow morning for Ben's Bar Mitzvah. Woo!